And for Off the Block, I'm Vinny Lipson. We are now joined by Mount Olive head coach Dave Heller after his team got a huge victory tonight, knocking off the defending Conference Carolina champions Pfeiffer in 3 games. And coach, a pretty impressive performance tonight from your team. How would you assess how your team played tonight?
I think just that, as a team. It's really nice. We've had some great team wins when we played against St. Francis earlier in the year. It's really nice to see a team come together, no matter who's on the court. Out of our 20 guys, they're going to give it their all, and they fought hard through those 3 sets. Pfeiffer didn't give us any points tonight. They executed the game plan that we had out in front of them, and they really wanted this win.
Yeah. Coach, you look at the numbers tonight. You guys hit 378 as a team. You know, your setter, Jeff Yazalonis, is continuing to put up big numbers. Can you just talk about Jeff as a setter and how he's been able to orchestrate this offense this season, not only tonight, but this season?
Yeah, Jeff has done an awesome job of really going out of his way to establish a really good connection, not with just 1 or 2 hitters, but with everyone on the team. Jeff is in every day working with a different hitter, whether they're, in our group of starters, our second string. He just wants this team to be so successful, and he puts in the work that he needs to. He's got a great volleyball IQ, and that comes from his mother's a phenomenal coach. He had great coaches at Yorktown, where he came from before he was here, and he wants to win, and that will is just something that you can't teach everyone. And he does, and busts his butt to make sure he puts our team in the best position to win. And he did great. This is, again, the second match in a row where we've had that many players with double-digit kills. And that's the first time that's ever happened with me in the last 4 years. We've had 3 or more people with double-digit kills in that short of a match too. It was awesome for me to see the team really play well. And Jeff is one of the most unselfish players that I think exists in the college game right now. You see someone who never says, "Hey, I want to see my stats after the game." He says, "What did the team? What were Peyton's numbers? What were Robert's numbers?" And that's something that you don't see a lot in a 19 or 20-year-old.
Yeah, no, definitely, Coach. And I do want to ask you about your attackers you alluded to a little bit earlier. 3 guys with double-digit kills tonight. Is this the deepest team you've had in your time in Mount Olive? Just it seems like every single night someone's putting up big numbers for you.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that we've really tried to diversify here at the University of Mount Olive is making sure that we don't just have 6 players that we rely on or 2 players that we rely on. We've had several players that have stepped up huge. Brett Rutledge, Ivan Stefanovic, Shane Yo stepped in and has done some huge things. And they don't, again, care necessarily about the individual glory because at the end of the day, our team goal is to win matches and to win conference. And so tonight, Keon stepped up huge. They picked on him a little bit in service eve, and he didn't let it affect his offensive or defensive game. Peyton had a double-double after having an awesome game last week. He had 40 kills for the week last week. But again, we have Joel on the bench, Brad on the bench, who come in winning against Belmont Abbey last week and helped us win those games with some clutch kills in the 5th set. So I really enjoy the depth of the bench because everyone that gets put into that situation has that same drive as the people that start on the court.
Now, Coach, we talked about your offense, but defensively tonight, Pfeiffer, obviously a good offensive team, but yet held them to less than a .250 attack percentage in both games 1 and 2. What were you able to do in those first 2 games to be so successful defensively?
We kind of defense has been a little bit of a struggle for us at times, and I think a lot of that goes back to our service game. When our serves are on, we set up our defense really, really well, but when we keep handing away points with some missed serves, but that's men's volleyball. We do put ourselves in tough situations, but tonight we kind of really just adapted a theme of one touch, and it works really, really well. All we need is one touch on the block, one touch in service eve, one touch on defense, and we had to trust that our teammates were going to get there after we got that one touch. And they really embraced that tonight, and we got a lot of touches. I know the block numbers weren't there, but the block touches that we got really set up our transition offense to score when we did it too.
And Coach, in the big picture, I know it's obviously only 1 game. You still have a lot of season left. But what does this victory mean for you guys moving forward, being able to knock off a team like Pfeiffer?
I think it's a really good starting point for a really young group. We still have a lot of freshmen and sophomores out on our court, and I think that, taking down a team like Pfeiffer that has quite a few seniors on their team, it really helps build confidence in those younger players that, we can play like juniors and seniors even though our grade is only a freshman or a sophomore. And it just, again, helps build their team chemistry and their just team trust in a win like this, that they're able to do a little bit more this year than we were able to do last year.
And Coach, final question for you. This is actually the first of 3 matches that you're going to be playing on 3 consecutive nights. What's your message to your team to get them ready for a Leeds McRae team that is chomping at the bit to get their first win tomorrow?
Yeah, it's definitely not a position that is easy to go into because, again, sooner or later they're going to get that win, and you don't really want to be the first one that falters and gives it to them. So, again, we're going to keep a very similar game plan that we had tonight. Obviously modify it for 2 or 3 players. But it's a tough weekend, and scheduling this year has been really, really difficult with all of the changes and coaches across the country. It kind of put us in some tough spots of when we had to schedule matches. But again, I think it's a really good opportunity to test some of the depth of our bench because we're going to have some guys that maybe are tired. We can put in some of those, rested legs who didn't play tonight. Maybe the ones that don't play tomorrow or tonight can play on Saturday. And that's another really good thing about this team is that having the depth, I feel very, very confident. If guy 1's not doing it, guy 2's going to step in and do a phenomenal job.